NASCAR says it will take a look at Austin Cindric's retaliation against Ty Dillon that occurred at the very beginning of the NASCAR Cup Series race at COTA. Roll this up over at stockcarreport.com. You can find the link in the description below. NASCAR's Cup Series Managing Director Brad Moran discussed the incident during a recent appearance on NASCAR or SiriusXM NASCAR radio. But before we get to what he had to say here, let's take a look at exactly what happened on the track. I think this is lap 3 here. This is from Mr. Matthew CFB. Let's blow this up a little bit. And you'll see here, this is kind of already coming out of the turn, but you can see Cindric is already up and out of the groove right here. And then you'll see Dillon almost do a little bit of a hip check as he kind of turns left. It swings his right rear out to try and push Cindric off the track, and it does. You can see his right side is in the grass. Cindric is not happy about that, clearly comes back and clips Dillon in the right rear and sends him spinning. I think that's Zane Smith there in that blue and white car at the back of your picture, but this is what happens here. Let's take a look. So you can see there off the track, you can see it bounce, comes back, clips him, sends him spinning into that outside wall there, and Zane Smith kind of taps him a little bit, and then is able to move around him. I think it would do some kind of damage to Ty Dillon's tire there. It was his right, I think it was his right front locked up. He was having issues with that after the contact with Zane Smith. So here it is again. You can see Cindric off the track, doesn't like that, comes down, clips Dillon, sends him spinning. And then here is a look at the in-car camera as well. So let's take a look at this right here.
Inside. Still there, 10. Still there, moved you up, just you and him. Still there with you and him. Try. Middle.
So there you go. Obviously got moved up, was in the grass, and then comes down and clips Dillon and sends him spinning. Very clear what happens there. In response to this, Dillon said, "I'm not going to say anything, but you know what I'm thinking." That was some absolute BS. So he obviously did say something and shared what he was thinking. But let's get to what Brad Moran had to say. This is what he said. He was asked this by SiriusXM NASCAR Radio. It says, "We had an incident with Austin Cindric making contact with Ty Dillon and getting to the side of him. Is that something that the sanctioning body is going to look a little deeper into?" Brad. And Moran said, "Yeah, unfortunately, that happened early on in the race. There was not a caution at that point for it, and we are going to go back. That's on our list today. So we'll have to look at that, and we'll just see if there's something there that we really do not like. And if there is, we'll have to deal with it." So I think there should be a penalty. He obviously hooked him in the right rear. I think now is up to what that severity of the penalty should be. And I'm not alone in this. Denny Hamlin also believes NASCAR should penalize Cindric if the data shows him turning left into Dillon. I think we just kind of saw all of that. Now, obviously, we don't have the specific data, but the eyeball test indicates he definitely did indeed turn left into Dillon to clip him and spin him around. But this is what Hamlin said during his most recent episode of Actions Detrimental. "I don't have the data to sit here and say, did he or did he not turn hard left? If the data shows it, it's going to be a hard one to avoid a penalty." When asked if speed matters and whether he should be penalized or not, Hamlin said, "Right hook's a right hook." And he elaborated saying it shouldn't be the severity of the outcome that decides whether it's a penalty or not. "I feel like a lot of the time that's the case. In the subconscious mind, I think that it plays a role in whether NASCAR chooses to penalize or not, which I don't think should be." So I absolutely 100% agree with Denny Hamlin there. However, I do want to add the caveat that I think that the severity of the outcome should determine the severity of the penalty. I don't think every single right hook is the same. Obviously, if you're right hooking someone at Daytona or Talladega, that is obviously much more severe than right hooking someone at, say, Martinsville or right there at COTA. And I think the penalties should reflect that. I think that is obviously something that is kind of cooked in even to our justice system in the United States. You can look at the different types of murder. And obviously there are other types of homicide as well. So I think that should factor into the severity of the penalty. So I think that this penalty shouldn't really be all that severe, but I do think that he should be penalized. Maybe a fine. I don't think there should be any kind of points penalty or anything like that. And I definitely don't think that he should be suspended, erased, or anything like that. I think a a monetary fine should be the proper penalty here. But let me know what you guys make of this. Do you think that Austin Cindric should be penalized? If so, what do you think that penalty should be? And if not, let me know why you don't think he should be penalized. Let me know in the comments below.